Hi, my name is Mike Frye, Director of Instruction here at Westbrook Village Golf Club. Today we're going to be talking about your aim and alignment. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the basics of your alignment. So I've got kind of a makeshift railroad track type thing set up here. And what that is the outer railroad track here is indicating my target line and also where the ball is going to go. This inside railroad track is indicating where my feet are roughly going to go. Okay, so when we're getting set up, first thing we want to do is we want to aim our club down the target line, get the sole of the club relatively flat to the ground. If you're going to favor one way or the other, you'd very, very slightly take the heel down. But I definitely don't want this, and I definitely don't want where the toe's way off the ground. I want that thing pretty flat to the ground. And again, if you're going to favor one way or the other, very, very slightly have the heel slightly lower or the toe up in the air, very, very, very slightly, but flat's always a good place to be. Okay, so the reason that gets so important when you get that club on the ground is that's going to indicate how far you're going to stand away from the ball, which is something we're going to be talking about a little bit later. But right now we're just talking about your alignment. So club's flat on the ground, aiming down my target line, and now I'm trying to get my feet parallel to the target line, or in this case, since I have this other railroad track set up, I can just get my feet parallel to that line. Okay, so now if I take my grip, what I'm really trying to have happen is I'm trying to get my feet parallel to this target line, my knees parallel to this target line, my hips parallel to this target line, my forearms parallel, and my shoulders here. Okay, so when it's all said and done, each one of those parts that I just talked about are all going to be parallel, shoulders parallel. Everything is kind of going the same way. And what that's going to allow you to do is going to give you the best chance to actually hit your ball down the target line. So that's the basics of your alignment. And next we're going to be talking about an intermediate target and how you incorporate that into your setup. All right, so now we have the basics of your alignment down. So now I want to talk more about your aim. So aiming in golf isn't quite as straightforward as you might think, in the sense that we're actually standing to the side of our ball, so it's a little harder to see where we're actually trying to aim. So if you can imagine, if I was standing directly behind my ball and I aimed it from here, this is pretty easy to see that my ball, my target line stick, and this stick are all lined up at the blue flag out there. If I'm standing directly behind the ball, that's pretty easy to see. The problem is that we're standing over here. So in other words, if I was to stand up on my line and try to aim, I could see it correctly, but I couldn't hit the shot because my feet are in the way now. So the fact that I'm standing over here, I've got to develop a skill that helps me aim the club head better so that I can actually hit the ball over my target line. Because from this perspective, the stick that's actually on my target line, from where I'm standing, actually looks like it's about, I don't know, 15 or 20 yards right of my target. The one over here, so if you're right on the target line, this is clearly not where I want to hit the ball. This should look significantly left of the blue flag. That's where I'm standing. And when I set up here, that's where my eyes are telling me I want to hit this shot. So that leads to a whole bunch of issues, as you can imagine. So what we do is we pick out an intermediate target. What I have here is an alignment stick. That's a great way to practice. If I was out on the golf course, I'd be picking a pebble, a piece of grass, a divot, anything that I can pick out in the first 2 or 3 feet of my target line that I can use when I'm building my setup. So I'd figure that out back here. Obviously I've got a big orange stick there that I'd use in this case, but I'd be picking that out directly behind the ball. I'd come up here and I'd aim my club first at my intermediate target, making sure I've got that club pretty flat on the ground, aiming at my target. Now I know where to stand. Now I've got a line in my mind that I can use to get my feet parallel. Once I get my feet parallel, then I can get my knees parallel, my hips parallel to that line, right? And I've got my grip. Now I've got my line on my forearms parallel, my shoulders parallel. But that's how we do it out on the golf course. We pick out an intermediate target. We pick that back here. And then we build our setup based on that intermediate target by aiming the club, getting our feet set, taking our grip, and making sure that our alignment matches that intermediate target. So that's the basics of aim and alignment. So give that a try. You'll be on your way to better golf.